Hey bestie, it's B. Welcome back. We are in for such a treat today to talk about toxic ass people, negative people. We all got them, but I have a little twist on how I view toxic people and kind of appreciate them. I know it's crazy. But before we get into the tea on how we can appreciate our haters, let's start with some housekeeping. You guys know I'm on every platform: TikTok, Instagram, heybriajones. Come hang out, come follow me. If you've ever thought, man, I sure do love Bestie B's content, how can I support her in this channel? I have a solution. Like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, comment, let me know what you're thinking about some of the points we go over, and share this video. If you think it resonates with you or someone you know might need to hear this, pass it on to them. And when we have sponsors, definitely check out the link. Speaking of sponsors, you guys, once again, we are partnering with Audible. Yes, thank you so much to our besties at Audible for sponsoring this video. I'm so excited. Can you guys already believe it's that time of year? We're already in the gift giving season. When planning all your gifts this year, don't forget about Audible. Audible is the perfect last minute gift that you can give to your loved ones or yourself. You guys already know I've personally been a fan of Audible for years. I usually gravitate to the self-development, the motivational titles. One of the titles I just started is called The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. I love this title so far because it talks about a method that helps you unlock stagnant creativity so that you can get in your creative flow. I've had so many friends recommend this one to me, and I know a lot of you are aspiring YouTubers, so I can't recommend this title enough, and you can check it out with Audible. New members can get a free Audible trial. To unlock a free Audible trial, use my personal URL and text code. It'll be on the screen and in the description. When you check out my URL and text code, you are supporting this channel, so thank you. Members also get full access to a growing selection of audiobooks, Audible originals, and podcasts. Audible has so many titles, you guys. There literally is something for everyone. If you're into fiction, we got you covered. If you like the thrillers, we got you covered. If you want that motivational content like Bestie B, we got you covered. And the Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere. Thank you again to Audible for sponsoring this video. So when I say toxic person or toxic people, who comes to mind? Look, we all have someone who's a little bit toxic in our life. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be somebody at work. It's kind of inevitable. But what if I told you toxic people are actually doing you a huge favor? I know every time I hit record, I get a little more delusional, right? But no, hear me out. In other videos, I've explained to you that you are the director, the writer, you're the main character in your movie. You are literally in control of your story. I've also told you guys how everything in your life is happening for you in the best case scenario. And sometimes the best case scenario does not feel like the best case scenario, but it is. And it's all about perception and how you interpret the situation around you. So if both these things are true, you're in control of your movie, everything is happening best case scenario, that actually means the toxic people in your life are playing a necessary role. They might be side characters, but they're necessary for some reason. The problem is that we usually forget that this is our movie, this is our show. And it can often feel like life is happening to you and not for you. But spoiler, life is happening for you to remember who the fuck you are and to be pushed in the right direction. But not everybody perceives it that way. And that's where it gets tricky, because you do have choices in this life. It's very easy to forget, because what happens is we get so wrapped up in our emotions. People trigger us, people make us angry, and we let these emotions consume us because we don't zoom out from the picture and realize that there's something deeper going on. What I've learned with toxic people is they can only rile you up if they're getting to a deep-rooted issue within you. Toxic people, well, everybody in your life, whether they're toxic or positive, they are mirroring a piece of you back to you. So when you have those amazing friends in your life, they're mirroring that love, that kindness, that empathy back to you. When you're dealing with toxic people, the only reason they could get a reaction or an emotion out of you is if they are mirroring something in you. you that is making you feel some kind of way, because these people have no power over you. Absolutely none. I don't care what the situation looks like. They have no power on you, and they have no power on your path and your future. Don't ever let anybody convince you otherwise. The thing about toxic people is they are very good at making you believe that they control you. They are very good at making you feel small, but that's just what they get off to. And you know what they love the most, bestie? They love a reaction. So what are you not gonna do? Give them a reaction. And I know that is easier said than done, hunty. I know, but it's gonna take some practice and some time. But when someone gets you riled up, if you can just tell yourself, this person wants a reaction out of me, it's already 1,000 times easier to not give it to them. They don't deserve that from you. You can be reactive to certain situations, or you can ask, why is this happening to me? And assume that it is for the better. It requires a little bit of delusion, but stick with me. Toxic people are steering you in the direction of your truth and your best self. I've told this story before, but let's go through it again, because there is no better example about a toxic person that I am so grateful for. You guys know I used to be a corporate baddie. When I first started my first big girl job, I was working with a manager who not really my cup of tea. He was the kind of manager where if I did something wrong, I would definitely hear about it, but if I did something right, it was never like, hey, good job. I didn't get positive reinforcement in any way. This was really difficult for me because I definitely came to this job really bubbly. I was like a fresh graduate out of college. You guys know my personality. Like, I just am who I am. I don't know why that bothered him so much, but he definitely went out of his way to treat me different than the other people on our team. For what reason, I don't know. I don't really care. I was kind of in denial that he hated me, but then, so usually what the managers would do, if we had birthdays, they would send out an email blast like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday. Happy birthday to this person. And you know, when you're in corporate America, it's like the sliver of joy you get to have your birthday called out and have people like be nice to you that day and maybe not give you so much work. Like, yes, I wanted my birthday shout out and I was waiting for it, but he didn't give me a birthday shout out. And I was like, oh, maybe he forgot, you know, like I was making up excuses for him. And this man literally comes up to me and goes, how was your birthday? I was like, okay. He was on top of it for everyone else. So all I'm saying is he just did things to really set me apart from the group and took these little jabs at me that no one else really noticed but me. Now, this is the same manager, I probably mentioned this before, who when I had a family member pass away, he denied me PTO. First of all, it's PTO that I accrued. So what are you doing? I wasn't even taking like bereavement or anything. I was just taking my own personal vacation time to go to a funeral. And this man was like, no. His excuse was that I was too new. But I think what that was him just trying to flex on the control and just like put his fist down for no fucking reason. I think I asked for a half day off too. Like, be so for real. This job was kind of a job that just wore on me constantly. I remember my personal breaking point. I went on a client site. I used to travel a lot. We sometimes had to drive 2 hours from the airport to get to our client site. Well, we definitely had a drive back to the airport, but we were gonna be going through like Atlanta rush hour traffic. So whatever time we usually take, we needed to like almost double it. They had us at this client site going way over the time we should have been there. I'm like, I'm gonna miss my flight. I'm literally gonna miss my flight. And I don't know if any of you have been to the Atlanta airport, but it is actually purgatory. Worst airport I've ever been through. So I'm like, can we go? Everyone's freaking out about missing their flights. And sure enough, we get to the airport. Lo and behold, my bag gets pulled to the TSA man. This never happened. So I'm standing there for another 20 minutes. I get to the gate. I see them closing the door. And I'm like, no, please let me on. The next flight out was at like 11 p.m. And look, I had been gone all week. I just wanted to be in my bed. Adrian and I had just started dating. Like, I was over this shit. The person working the gate was like, I'm so sorry, when we close the gate, we can't open it. I'm like, oh, okay. And now I have to wait 6 more hours. And I wasn't getting paid extra for that. So I go to the bathroom and absolutely lose my shit. It's really not that serious, but it was like a collection of things. I broke down in the Atlanta airport bathroom. People were asking me if I'm okay. I'm doing the that kind of cry. I'll admit it, I was hysterical because I was so tired. There was a rage in me that I cannot explain to you. I remember having a conversation with myself. Literally in my head, I was like, I'll never fucking let anyone treat me like this again. Oh, I was mad, okay? You have no idea. I was like, I'll never have a boss again. I'll do anything to never work for anybody ever again. And mind you, like, I know this sounds so dramatic because it is, because I am giving my Oscar, but let's be real, like when someone is constantly chipping away at you, we all have breaking points. And this was mine. I tried my hardest to be very positive, but I finally just lost my shit. But in that moment, what I see now as one of the most pivotal moments in my life was the agreement I made with myself. I wasn't kidding when I said I will never work for anybody again. I will never let anyone treat me like this again. I did not know at that point what that meant for me, how I was gonna get out of my situation. All I knew for sure is I was gone. And that was the moment I checked out of that situation and finally realized there's something else. This cannot be my life. I was like 23 at the time. Like, I'm 23 years old and I'm miserable. I hate waking up in the morning. I have to change this. And it's my story. It's my movie. I'm in control. So that's the moment I took ownership of my movie, of my life. Because until then, oh, I was the biggest victim. The woe is me girl. Why is this happening to me? This is so unfair. I thought you just get dealt the cards you get dealt. And to an extent, yes, you get dealt cards that maybe you didn't ask for, but you are in control of how you respond to the cards, period. When I decided that I was gonna be my own boss, that was the first step in moving towards being a YouTuber. I didn't even know it yet. In fact, if you would have told me I would have been a YouTuber at that time, I would have been like, what are you on? And you know what's crazy, guys? So my dad, he's very intuitive. That year, he did actually tell me that he saw me in front of a camera. He didn't say YouTube, kept saying he was getting this picture in his head. And he's like, I don't know, I just see you in front of a camera. He's like, that's all I got. And I got mad at him. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the only way I would do that is like on YouTube, and it's impossible to grow as a YouTuber. The way that I talked back then is so different from how I talk now. I believe there would be no way that I could grow on YouTube at that time. That was like the Emma Chamberlain era when like you either were like a massive creator or like you didn't have a following. And I was like, that will never be me. And oops, here we are. The universe, God, my angels, everybody was slowly giving me like these little hints and signs, like get out of corporate America, girl. Like picture these negative moments and picture your higher self like on the McDonald's mic being like, okay, we need you to move out stage left away from this company. She's not listening, guys. We need to be a little bit more aggressive here. Okay, make her manager literally forget her birthday. Not enough? Okay, let's make her miss her flight. That'll piss her off. Okay, is she getting it yet? Is she seeing that she needs to leave this company? Oh, she got it. Perfect. Okay, we can back off now. Picture this team of divine beings who are literally like rooting for you, cheering for you, and they're trying to get you to hear them. And you're just not listening because you're too busy being in victim mode and you're not paying attention to the why. Why is this happening? And that's what I need you guys to question a little bit more when you are dealing with negative people and toxic people. I want you to take a step back. And before you feel your emotions bubble up, I want you to say, why is this person in my life? This person is in my life for a reason, but why? Maybe I'm not understanding it right now, but maybe try to understand it. Try to meditate on it. Try to pray about it. Try to get the answers. A lot of you don't realize you can ask. You can listen to your intuition, give you those answers, or maybe you'll get signs. Be receptive to understanding why things are happening to you because nothing is just happening to you by accident. But back to the story, having a shitty ass manager and a crazy job experience was totally necessary to my story. It got me to where I am today. So I am so thankful for that manager who completely made it his career, quite literally, to drain my energy and make me feel less than, because it showed me who I am. It reminded me who the fuck I am and that I deserved better treatment. I deserved to be happy. I deserved to do something that I was passionate about. And at the end of the day, ain't nobody about to control Bestie B because this is the Bria show, okay? And you have your own show and nobody is controlling you. You just gotta boss up and take ownership of that, okay? And sometimes taking ownership of that is hard. It's gonna require you to step out of your element. It's gonna require you to do things you've never done before. And spoiler, it's fucking scary. And it's going to push you and you're gonna have to be really confident about yourself. You're gonna have to get really good at trusting your intuition and trusting that you are being divinely guided and looked out for. And one thing I know about the besties is that all of you are so divinely protected. You would not have found my channel if you weren't. People always say in the comments like, oh my God, this is the perfect video. How did you know? This is getting creepy. Like, that is one of the most commented things I see. It's because I pray about you guys. I meditate on what the besties need. What you see here is not just me. It's the divine angels and God, whatever you call it, baby. They are talking to me about you and what you need. And I'm only here to just be the big ass mouth to tell you. But you guys all have this inner power within yourself. You don't even need bestie, but I'm here to just help facilitate that for you. You have to understand that too. All these things happening to you are happening for you. And you just have to shift your perception to see that. Toxic people are in your life to teach you something, to teach you a lesson. Ask your team for the lesson. I want you to tap into them, tap into your intuition and say, what is the lesson here with this bitch? Okay? It's okay. You can say that. So when it came to my shitty ass manager at that company, my manager was a mirror to me to show me that one, I did not need anyone's approval. I needed to become more confident in myself. I needed to get better at speaking up for myself. And I should have asked more questions on why is this happening? And the universe was trying to show me that I was letting people walk all over me. Like, I have doormat on my forehead? Ew, no, the fuck I don't. But I was very young, new to the industry. Look, I get it. It takes time. But the universe is gonna start showing you these lessons when you are ready to start learning them. So when it came to working with someone like that, I needed to gain that confidence in myself, speak up for myself. I also needed to learn that I don't have to settle in life. I don't have to just do something because I see all my friends doing it, because that's what my family did. I can break the status quo. And they literally pushed me into a corner to give me the lesson until I heard it. My team yelling at me like, oh, she didn't get it yet. Make her miss her flight. Okay, she's pissed. Good job, guys. That's a wrap. I literally picture them being like, what can we do to piss her off today? Because she needs to get the fuck out of there and into YouTube. Good job, team. So listen, ask for the lessons. And here's the thing, you are gonna be shown the lesson over and over again until you learn it. So if you're always like, I always attract the worst men, it's because you haven't learned a lesson. You keep doing the same thing, okay? Ask yourself why you keep attracting these bum ass boys. Because you didn't learn your lesson. Listen, I have a friend who is quite literally like a supermodel. One of the most beautiful people inside and out that I've ever met. I always joke, I was like, if I looked like you, I would be gone. I would be in New York. You guys would never see me again. I'd be strutting on someone's runway. But this girl does not see it at all. Her thing is she attracts awful men. And we've been like, dude, what's going on here? Like, you are so beautiful. She's so fucking smart. I mean, a genius, does amazing at her job, like such an asset to her company. There's literally no box that goes unchecked here. I'm like, what is it with these guys? And she's like, I don't know. One day we just got on the topic of like, how do you feel about yourself? Because like, you're so pretty and smart and talented, but how do you feel? You can be all those things, guys. And if you don't see it for yourself, it doesn't even matter. So the thing is, she doesn't see that in herself at all. I don't know where her confidence went south. If someone said something to her in her childhood, the self-confidence is just not there. In turn, when you have self-confidence issues, oftentimes you need to be validated by certain people or things. Her special act is to be validated by manipulative men. And these men know this about her. So they use this to their advantage to control her, to make her feel small, to make her feel like she's not beautiful, and make her feel powerless to where she doesn't see it in herself. So the day that she wakes up and realizes that, game's over for them. But manipulative guys are very smart. They know what girls to go for because those girls don't see it in themselves. So when she's repeatedly getting into relationships with these kind of men and she's like, oh, I don't get it. Why are all these guys like awful? It's because they're mirroring something to her. They are mirroring that lack of self-love and self-confidence and self-assurance that she does not have in herself. They are showing her that. So every time she finds a new random guy, these guys don't even know each other, but they're all the same, because that's the lesson she needs to learn to break free from these guys. And she hasn't learned it yet because it's here. It's with her. She has to heal something in herself. So as her friend, I've tried to be here to show her these parts that I think I can help her with. And sometimes that's just through existing in showing her a healthy relationship that I have with my partner. Sometimes that's what it looks like, because when you are sitting side by side and you realize your partner is going crazy on you and that's not normal, sometimes it just takes looking around the room and being like, this shit is not normal. And toxic people are gonna continually hold a mirror up to you. But when you decide to heal yourself and take ownership that you don't wanna be treated like that you do deserve better, that's when the narrative changes for you. Because baby, I might not look like a supermodel, okay? But one thing about me is the way these guys talk to her, they would never talk to me that way, okay? You just have to understand that toxic, negative people are there to teach and show you something, but are you listening? You guys, it is such a powerful feeling when you take your control back from people who were energy drainers and toxic or negative in your life. When you stop seeing them as the villain and start seeing them as the resource. I know this is such a crazy concept, but it is the most powerful thing. Listen, I have dealt with and dated narcissists in my life and applied this. And what's crazy is the second that I stop reacting to them with my emotions and remember that I'm powerful, protected, and that I deserve to be treated better than what I'm getting, it is wild how they act so differently around me. At first, they're not gonna like it. I'm gonna warn you, when you stop responding to toxic and negative people, they might get a little more aggressive because they're used to your response and your reaction. So if you stop giving that to them, oh, that's gonna make them upset, but you gotta stay strong. And eventually, they're gonna realize they don't have power over you anymore. That can be a family, a friend, a partner, whatever it is. You need to understand that you have to protect your energy. Your energy is currency. Don't give that away. When I know I'm about to interact with someone who is negative or toxic in my life, because sometimes we don't get to choose, what I will do is just close my eyes and imagine putting myself in a bubble of white, pure light. And then what I do is I might call on some divine being. Maybe it's God that day. Maybe it's Archangel Michael. He's pretty dope. Maybe I'm talking to my ancestors one day. Maybe I call on spirit guides. Whatever you want to call on that feels right to you, you can call on them. They're waiting for you to give them like the okay to step in. And baby, when I do that, it is like, boof, everybody just bouncing. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. So do that. You can just do it in your head. You don't have to even say it out loud. Just put yourself in a bubble and then ask someone to just be there with you and watch what happens, okay? But remember, you are always being guided and protected, and toxic people are there to push you in that direction a little bit more. You just have to start seeing it that way. I hope you guys like this video and that it helps you. I know it's a bit delusional. You might have to watch this one more than once to really accept it. But bestie, would I ever lie to you? No. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment on how you deal with toxic people, because I want to know. Or if you want to change something about how you deal with toxic people, let me know in the comments. And of course, I'm going to see you guys next week.